Okay, well, I'm playing again. Sorry, I couldn't leave it alone. Came home from the show and started looking at this canvas, and I like the idea of misty, crazy sky. But for some reason, I felt as though I would want more of a square format than this time. And maybe yesterday I had a different opinion. I don't know. My opinion changes every day. But what I thought I would do is bring in, again, a distant shore, you know? I have these sweeping lines in here, which I like, and I want a strong sky in here, but I don't think I'm going to go quite as sort of foggy, misty as I was thinking. I don't want to paint distant hills. So I'm going to go again with just a horizon, a far shore, you know? With general idea of the structure of a treed shore. Sure, there may be rocks. I'm not going to paint them. Just going to indicate that's there. And then I'd like to allow the water in the distance to catch a bit of light, maybe not too much. Because this is strong, and because there is so much content right here, I decided that I think I would like to put some light on it. And more detail in the foreground here. And then, you know, go from there with the water. So, that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, the show was fun. It's always nice to meet or touch base with other painters. Often I'm in a show with other painters that are the same painters. It's like you get a group of people who, we don't organize it, the gallery does, but we all seem to do fairly well with our work, and we're usually invited back to do things, so that's kind of how it was today. And yeah, it was fun. I always dread going to a show, actually. I'm not a big fan on the face of it, just going to talk and talk and talk and what have you, but yeah, you know, I guess I would have to admit that invariably I've enjoyed it. Scott Hebert is a local artist here. He's a younger fellow. He's honing his craft, getting better and better. He paints. Well, I don't know what he all paints, but lately it's been more a female form in nature kind of thing. I guess he hires models and stuff, and you know, I know he has an eye, and I also know he's working hard at improving his abilities. Now, those two things right there, those two constituents, well, you know, if he keeps doing what he's doing, the guy's not going to fail. He's going to do just fine. He recognizes and acknowledges that it takes a lot of work, and he is doing it. He's kind of in the process of it. Anyway, might not be for everybody, but you know, and it's not, you know, it's not the kind of work I do. But I have to tell you, I'll respect anybody who's putting effort into it like that. So he popped by the gallery today. It was nice to meet him. He wanted to have a look at my work and have a look at Renato Michello, who is a well-known British Columbian West Coast artist. Very talented guy. He too, like, he's another one of those guys who just worked like crazy. He started with a plan, and he's a very driven individual, had a single goal, and he didn't want anything to get in his way, kind of thing, as he achieved it. And he's done that, you know, so good for him. You know, you make sacrifices along the way, and you need to have the talent. You've got to, you know, to start with that. Well, boy, that just puts you ahead if you have some talent behind you. So that was fun, and it was nice to catch up with some of the other painters that I know. And it's always nice to talk to some of the public. You know, I ran into several people who had bought paintings from me before, and one of you guys out there watched my YouTube channel, so it was a real joy to meet you. Selfishly, I did not ask your names, but I met you and your wife, I think. I think that was your wife. And I think your name is Doug. I overheard that from somebody, because of course I'm nosy. I don't know your wife's name. Anyway, it was a pleasure to meet you. It was fun. It was fun to chat. It was fun and funny to talk about red sheds. I really enjoyed that. You kind of made my afternoon. And then there were a couple as well who there was a I think it's mom and daughter, or maybe daughter and mother-in-law. I'm not sure, but we had some similar connections to the interior of British Columbia, and they quite fell in love with a painting that related to a bit of a snow scene. So yeah, you know, I sold a couple of paintings at this show, and then I don't know if I mentioned this, but there was a show going on simultaneously that I could not attend, but was involved with on Vancouver Island, also in British Columbia, at the Peninsula Gallery in the town called Sydney, on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. And Vivian, the lady who runs that gallery, sold, well, there were 3 paintings that sold regarding their show. So that's a pretty good day. I'm pretty happy with that. Sure, I'm tired, but yeah, that was a really good day. Really enjoyed it. Okay, so as I said, I think I'd like to have a dividing line between, you know, sky and water. It's a format I like quite a bit, and I do want to get a bit crazy with the sky. I'm still planning on using a knife on this painting. I don't know, something about the way I designed the sky. If you were just to drop into the water, you almost need mist or something similar to fade up, you know, to what, ameliorate, reconcile, pick the word, you know, something that joins the water and the sky. And honestly, that's something I would prefer to use on a larger and more square format, or on a really large painting. So we're not going to do that on this one. Instead, we're just going to have some fun. And as I mentioned before, I like fun. My commitments are done until the new year, as far as I know anyway, painting wise. And I'm just going to, oh my goodness, here, just get a little chintzy on paint. I'm mixing a little bit of, oh, by the way, this was ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. A lot of burnt sienna, as you can see. I just didn't want it as dark as these foreground outlines, which are ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. Okay, that's a bit light. I can add more light later, but I don't want it too light now. I can add light later. I don't want to get too light right now. How many times have you heard me say that, eh? Just repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. Like your nagging mom or grandma or grandfather or postman. Okay, I think that's going to be a good barrier between top and bottom. but it is late. I am tired. I did want to put out a video tonight because I did want to say, well, you know, thanks to you guys for watching this stuff, and thanks to it was nice to see Scott. Nice to meet Scott in person, actually. I'm Scott Hebert Art, and it was nice to meet you, Doug. And I'm very sorry I did not ask properly I didn't introduce myself properly or ask for your names. But I think you bought your third old shed from me via the gallery, so I appreciate that. Okay, it's a little further. You know, I did this as a cheat in a way because I'm going to do this in the knife. I have a barrier. I have a stop that I can just work up to there. I don't have to feather this stuff in tomorrow. Now I can be lazy. I can just separate the sky and not worry about the subtleties of joining sky and foreground. I hate it. I hate subtle. I'm no good at it. Anyway, hope you guys have a good weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.